What's up? What's up? I'm gonna let y'all come through here real quick. Let some of y'all come through here real quick. Let that do it a little better. I don't know why. What's good? What's good? What's good? Let some of y'all come through here real quick. Make sure you're hitting that like button when y'all come through. Definitely make sure you're hitting that like button when y'all come through. What's up, Herb? What's up, man? What's up? Arturo, what's up? What's good, bro? What's good? Man, we talking whatever y'all trying to talk about, man. I just had this on. I know a lot of y'all want to talk Texans, so shit, it's Q and A. Whatever y'all want to talk about. Shit, whatever y'all want to talk about. Make sure you're hitting that like button when y'all come through here, though. What is thing? I guess I gotta do it like this thing. I guess that'd be better. Talk about cutting Stingley if he get hurt again. Nah, we can't cut Stingley already. We can't cut him already. We can't cut Stingley already. I mean, yeah, it is a concern about Stingley being hurt. Uh, um, I mean, dude ain't. I mean, second year hasn't played good. Hasn't played a full season yet. I think what talking about he won't be playing to December. Yeah, December, which is very concerning. I thought that he would be back after. I thought he'd be back after the bye week, or at least be coming back this week. But again, like with no information like about him, like being at practice or anything like that, he's not coming back no time soon. So it's definitely gonna be to December, like the what you call it, like I think it was Aaron Wilson reported a couple weeks ago, and that's probably what it is gonna be. Like I said, yeah, it's definitely frustrating, concerning, irritating. Something that you don't want, something that you don't want, especially for your number third overall pick to do 2 years ago. So it is that, and you do wish it was better, but I mean, at this point, it is what it is. What kind of card? What kind of card is in the garage, big dog? What kind of cars in the garage? We rolling Impala, man. Is Pierce really hurt? Okay, I don't. I mean, talking about they force him to sit down. I don't think they force him to sit down. More than likely he won't play because he ain't practiced all week. I think it was an ankle injury. Um, we were talking about this earlier today. Honestly, like I said before, man, like Damian Pierce, it seems like it's a system fit when it comes to Damian Pierce and the issue with the running game. I think it's more so a system fit. He doesn't fit the zone. He doesn't fit the zone running scheme. He just don't. He's not seeing the cutback lanes. This is really like he's just not like he's really like he's just not fitting the system. So since he's not fitting the system, uh, it makes the running game suffer. Like I said, we like top half in the league in attempts, but we're bottom half in every rushing statistic. Every rushing statistic, we're not in bottom half. We're in the bottom five. I think. I think we're 25th in first downs off of runs, like rushing for first downs. That's the only thing that everything else is like 28, 29, 30th dead last, and all other type of rushing statistics, except for how many times we attempt to run a game. Like we're like 13th or 12th or 13th. We're in the top half of rushing attempts per game, which means we're constantly running the football, but we're not getting any production. Like we're constantly doing something, but we're not receiving any benefits from. We're not receiving any benefits from. We're not getting any type of production. Nothing is going well with all these attempted runs. So because of that, it makes I mean, we're trying to establish the run, but I mean, it's to a fail. It's not being done effectively. And the time that Damian Pierce has run well is when we were running power. So that power run scheme benefits Damian Pierce. Thing is, the way Bobby Sloak is trying to coach, he's trying to coach to make everything, all the runs that look like the passes. So it kind of, you can't do that when you run out of a running scheme. I mean, we run power like that. So that's pretty much the problem. They should have went after run, but it's an issue that they should have realized early on. Like I said, I think they should have brought in Kareem Hunt when they had the chance. Should have brought in Dalvin Cook when they had the chance. Um, I seen forget who it was. I seen picked up Leonard Fournette. I know people like Leonard Fournette. Just try to bring in something. I know. I think the Chiefs had Clyde Edwards McClare on the trading block. They could have brought him in and maybe could have got something out of him. Because whatever you got, the type of run style Damian Pierce is not running. It's not running. But I know some of these guys, not guys who got to really be like, oh man, I really don't want him. But Dalvin Cook actually can run this system. We've seen Dalvin Cook run this system in Minnesota. Now I guess the question with Dalvin Cook is, does he have anything left in the tank? Because we see he's not doing really too much with the Jets, but the Jets do have Brees Hall. But you could have brought him in cheaper during the offseason. And that's the problem. This is a problem, the issue that they should have recognized early on. That he wasn't running real well with the scheme. Now again, I don't know if it was too much of him looking good in practice during training camp, because the reports were that he was looking phenomenal during training camp, that he was running all over everybody, and even the joint practice I was in, he was running well. It could just be our defense is not good on stopping the run, which we've also seen as the weeks went on. Our run defense is probably the weakest part of our defense. So it could have been just a product of that. But again, we fans, we watching games. We watching games. We're not getting paid to watch and assess this team like they are. That's something that they should have figured out. I feel like back in June and July, it should be able to try to fix something sooner instead of we in the middle. Now we're getting to November, where the season's really starting to cut to the nitty gritty of the season. Things moves are now starting to be actual crucial to wins and losses and contribute and be the direct result of wins and losses. And you ain't bringing nobody in, and your running back and your running room seems like it could be the problem. I think Nick is going to draft Ray Davis out of Kentucky, but I would prefer Trey Benson. I haven't watched any Kentucky. I really haven't watched a lot of college football. Outside watching Texas Tech win last night. I did watch Texas Tech win last night, but I really haven't been watching a lot of college football this year, honestly. So, like again, I know some players. Like I said, like I think especially when it comes to receivers, like Keon Coleman, Marvin Harrison Jr. Obviously, Rome. Last name started with an O, receiver out of Washington. Like I know those guys. I know those guys are ballers. I've seen those guys play. I know those guys are ballers. And again, I've definitely been watching for receivers because that's exactly what we need. But I haven't got the chance to break down college football yet, like I normally do. When it comes around draft time or anything like that, but I'll definitely take a look into, because we definitely need to upgrade this running back position. And I have no problem with Damian Pierce. I like Damian Pierce. I think Damian Pierce going forward could be well, but we just need to use him. To me, is if you're going to run this system, he's only going to be able to run like short yardage and goal line situations. That's the only time that you're really going to be able to use him effectively, unless you run power. And then you might as well change your offensive philosophy because you're not doing what you want to do. So, Ray Davis is what they need. Turn Pierce to both having this running back style. Except Davis, it's more shifty. Okay, I definitely take a look into him. We need to stop using Tank as a gadget player and let him go downfield. The thing about Tank, like, it's not that we're using Tank as a gadget player. It's not that we don't use Tank as a gadget player. It's the fact that Tank is just a weapon. Like Tank is a guy who usually want to get the ball, and you want to just get the ball in Tank's hands and let him do things and let him do his thing. Like the thing about one Tank to be, this 110, 115, 120 yard receiver with 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. I don't think that's ever going to be Tank Dell. Not to say he won't ever get a 14, 15 yard season, because he might. I don't know if he's ever going to be that reliable as a weapon downfield, as a receiving threat, because I think Tank is a guy who usually going to try to get the ball in his hands. You're going to try to use him on punt returns. You're going to try to, like I said, you're going to try to use him in the run game and let him do jet sweeps and things like that. You're going to try to, you want to get the ball in his hands and let him be special, because that's what he is. He's a special weapon. He's a special weapon. I don't know if him being this bona fide number one receiver, and that's not probably just not a slight Tank. It has nothing to do with Tank's size either. Just the way Tank plays and how electric the Tank is. I don't know if he's going to be just the guy that you want to give the ball to. Like, you just throw the ball, he gets, like I said, he catches 115, 120 receptions a game, a season, and 15, 16 yards and 15 touchdowns. I don't think he's ever going to be that guy. But a guy who can get, 80 something, 90 something catches, 1,000 plus yards, 1,200 yards, get you possibly 10, 8 to 9, 10 touchdowns. I think he could definitely be that guy. And he's like, like I said, he's a guy that he also use him in the return game. He might get you a punt return here and there. Might get you 2 punt returns a season. Might be able to get you maybe like 400 to 500 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns or something, or things of that nature. Just a lot of getting the football in his hands and let him be special and do some special things with. Because again, the guy who I feel like is your bona fide number one receiver is playing college football right now. I don't think he's in the NFL. I don't even think he's a guy that's on the opposite team, and a lot of people might want to go after T. Higgins and things like that. We're not going, as we've seen so far. The Texans are not going to try to make any moves with via trades. So anybody that's on the roster right now, I don't think they're going to try to trade for him. And then anybody that's going to be coming up to be a free agent, I don't know. After seeing what Nick Casario has done his previous 3 off seasons, I don't think that he'll be able to. I don't think he's going to sign a big time free agent. So your best bet is him drafting a receiver, which he's done in every single draft. He's drafted a receiver in all 3 of his drafts, and not only drafted a receiver, he's jumped up to get a receiver. Jumped up to get Nico, jumped up to get Mechie, and also jumped up to get both Xavier Hudson and Tank Dell in this past draft. So in all 3 drafts, he's drafted a receiver, and he's moved up to get all 4 of these receivers. So I could definitely see him drafting, especially, but none of these receivers he's never made any type of draft selection in the for receiver in the first round. I think this would be the first time that he'll be able to do it, and I think he will do it. I definitely think he'll draft a receiver in the first round of this upcoming draft. We need to see more Mitchell. Also, like I told, I don't know if you check out after the game on Sunday. I don't know, bro. They must not be doing well in practice. There's something that's going on in practice. It's something that they're seeing that they're not trusting them because you see Noah Brown. As soon as Noah Brown got healthy, they threw Noah Brown out there. As soon as he got healthy, they threw Noah Brown out there. They're missing Robert Woods. Noah Brown gets healthy, they throw Noah Brown out there. Tank Dell missed a game and a half. Tank Dell missed a game and a half. Only thing that Hudson did was we had 2 jet sweeps, or maybe 3. Nothing in there. Mechie had a couple games with he had some targets, but that's it. You're missing your tight end and Brevin Jordan. No, they're not going out there. They're not throwing passes out there. They're not throwing passes to these receivers in the grand scheme of things. So there's something, I don't know if it's they not understand the playbook. They not running their routes crisp enough. They don't like the way those routes is coming. They not getting the playbook. They time and the chemistry is off with CJ. I don't know what the problem is, but it's obviously some type of problem, and they're not getting it fixed. They're not getting fixed. And whoa, hey man, hey shout out to OG. I'm about to say 713, but it's not 713. It's OG 77013. I just seen the number. Hey, shout out to OG. Do you feel like Do you feel like there's a legit number one talent receiver? Number one, do you feel like there is a legitimate number one receiver talent in this draft class outside Marvin Harrison? Yes, absolutely. Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman out of Florida State. He might actually be the best prospect in this draft. I know people are like Marvin. And I know, especially what we seen with Marvin Harrison Jr. last year under C.J. Stroud. I definitely agree that Marvin Harrison would have been the number one receiver taken and would be a top five pick in the draft. He's probably still going to be the number one receiver taken. I more likely say that. But Keon Coleman, the receiver out of Florida State, he's making this way. I think right now, people got him like around the 20s. I think that's just because they really haven't seen him a lot. He was at Michigan State previously. This is his first time at Florida State. And I think by the time the season's done, the season over with, he's going to be one of the top two receivers. And we know combines and pro days, people jump up. People jump up and leapfrog other people. I wouldn't be surprised if Keon Coleman, the receiver out of Florida State, is the first receiver taken. And also, like I said, Rome, I think his name is Azuna. I know I'm butchering his name, but the wide receiver out of Washington, I know his first name is Rome. I think his last name is like Ozuda or Ozuma, something like that. I know I'm messing up his name terrible. But I think he's another guy who would be. I think though this draft class, when it comes to receivers, is very well. That's why I'm not really concerned with that Cleveland Brown pick falls at. Obviously, prefer to have a top 5, top 10 pick, because even if you had that high of a pick and you didn't want Marvin Harrison, you can move that pick and drop down and accumulate other draft picks to help out and help out other areas and secure other spots. But I'm not concerned exactly, because I don't think Cleveland's win the Super Bowl like that. That's all. I'm not thinking it's going to be like the 31st pick in the draft, but. I definitely think it's going to be somewhere in that 20 range, that 20 to teen range, somewhere in that aspect. And I think wherever that pick falls, I think you'll be able to land yourself. I think wherever you fall at, you'll be able to land yourself a very good receiver. I definitely think, like I said, it's some number one receivers, talents in here. You still got Malik Neighbors out of LSU. I haven't watched a lot of Malik Neighbors out of LSU, but LSU receivers typically are very good receivers in the NFL. So I definitely think that he probably has some talent. Xavier Worthy now UT is a straight burner. Now he might not be a number one receiver, but I definitely think a guy who can change the dynamic of how the defense plays against you. And that's kind of number one receiver-ish, kind of like Tyreek Hill. But then Tyreek Hill be actually matured as a receiver as far as catching abilities and things like that, and able to do things outside just being an absolute burner. But you get a guy like that, and you put a guy like that on your squad, and you can change the dynamic of your offense. That opens up the offense a lot. Like a speed threat like that down the field could definitely change that. Some of the CJ's been asking and calling for is making plays, going downfield and doing things like that. So if you get a receiver to that magnitude and you add him onto this type of situation, you more than likely possibly can change the dynamic of your offense and make your offense way more wide open, way more spread, way more explosive. So like I said, you got him. There's another receiver too. I can't think about who it is. Like I said, Keon Coleman. Okay, we already know Marvin's one. Keon Coleman from Florida State. Rome from Washington. I just said his name. Malik Neighbors from LSU. Xavier Worthy out of Texas. That's 5 guys right there that I think is going to go in the top 5. Oh, Legend. What's his first name? Last name is Legend from South Carolina. I think he's like 6'4" and like runs a 4.3 or 4.4. Like, no, I think he runs a 4.3. Like he's like 6'4" and runs a 4.3. He's another guy. This guy out of Oregon too. That's pretty. But he just reminds me of more of a taller Tank Dell. Very shifty. Uses quick feet. But he's probably a guy you're gonna find in the second round. Same thing probably with Legend. Legend, from everything I've seen, the Legend's probably gonna be a second round pick, a high second round pick. So it's gonna be some receiver talent in this draft. The key is that wherever we fall with the Cleveland Browns pick, wherever that pick might fall, if receivers in front of us start flying off the board like in 2022, because I feel like that's the reason why we end up moving back and end up drafting Kenyon Green, because right before we drafted, our original pick was pick 12. The pick right before us, or 2 picks before us. No, it was right before us. Olave went the pick right before us at pick 11. Before that, you had Gary Wilson. You had Gary Wilson went to the Jets. Jameson Wilson went to the Lions. You had Drake London go to the Falcons. So, and then, like I said, then Chris Olave went right in front of us to the Saints. So I think like out of like the 5 to 6 picks right before us, 4 receivers went off the board, and we just moved back because I'm pretty sure he's like, no, hey, we'll accumulate some other draft capital. There's still a couple of receivers in this draft because you still had Mechie, who we ended up taking, and then you also had George Pickens as well out of Georgia. So you still had some guys left on the board, and he was able to move back. I think this time I don't think he's going to sit on his hands, especially when he's showing you how he's been jumping up to get receivers, like how he jumped up to go get Tank this year. I don't think he's going to do that. He's going to sit on his hands. I think when receivers start flying off if receivers start flying off the board, depending on where the Cleveland Brown pick is, he's going to jump up to make sure he's getting one of those top guys. But like I said, hey man, but shout out OG, appreciate Super Chat love. Hey, and Jolie, shout out to Jolie for Super Chat love as well. Appreciate that. How many touchdowns do you think CJ will have? Are you talking about in the game or for the season? If you talk about this game against who we played, against Tampa, the most CJ's ever thrown in the game is 2. So I'm gonna say I'll say 2 through 0 through 0 last week. I think the week before only was able to throw 1. So I think 2 weeks before he threw 1 against the Falcons. I think he'll throw 2 today. I mean 2 on Sunday. And if you're talking about for the season, okay, that'd be 8 games a season. If he throws 2, that gives him 11 with 9 games left. I say 25 for the season. I say 25 for the season. So like I said, if he throws 2 on Sunday, that gives him 11. So that means it gives him 9 games to throw. That gives him 9 games to throw 13. If I say he gets 25. Yeah, that gives him 9 games. So yeah, nine games for him to throw 25. I mean, nine games. I'm sorry, to throw 13, and he hasn't thrown no more than 2 in a game. So unless he gets a game where he can get a 3 or 4 piece, which we don't have the weaponry. I know we just seen Will Levis, who we all bashed before the draft, throw 4 touchdowns to Hopkins because he actually had a receiver to throw 4 touchdowns too. Well, I didn't think he threw 3 to Hopkins, but he had a receiver go out there and catch a lot of touchdowns. So if we can get an explosive threat like that, we can get some multiple touchdowns. Because there's some games where he's thrown supposed to be touchdowns, and what's his name? The tight end. Dalton Schultz dropping tight ends. Robert Woods now getting his head around, able to catch the football. So we seen situations like that where the guys weren't catching touchdowns, but he was throwing touchdowns and put touchdowns. They threw one to Damian Pierce that they called back because they called it back, I think, because of a hold or something like that. So we've seen games where he should have had more touchdowns, and the guys either dropped it or touchdowns got called back. Yeah, a game against the Colts. Touchdowns got called back. So we've seen that type of situation go on. So hopefully that changes. But if you're talking about for the season, like I said, I think it'll be 25. Will be 25. But shout out, appreciate Super Chat love. Definitely appreciate that. You got on the wrong. Shut up, Trill. Shut up, Trill. Don't worry about it. Shut up, Trill. You see what it is. You see what it is, man. You see what it is. You know, all my teams get dubs, baby. What you talking about? They all get dubs. So chill out. Kenyon Green juice, and also Our fullback Troy Harris. Front runner for all run blockers and injured. Yeah. You were right about that. The run blocking is hurt. You're right. The run blocking is hurt. Look like a future Laker franchise. Doesn't make any sense. One this is not even Apollo jersey. It's Penny Hardaway. This is throwback Magic jersey. It's Penny Hardaway. You know what I'm saying? This one is Penny. It's a Penny jersey. It's not even Apollo jersey. Why you trying to be funny? Okay, so you said okay, Xavier Legend. That's his name. Appreciate you, Xavier Legend. Appreciate you, Xavier Legend. Oh, he's 6'3", 226 pounds. Runs a 4.29. Yeah, so a 4.3. Yeah, you know, if he runs a 4.29 unofficially, you know, probably at the combine, he's probably gonna run like a four, he'll probably run like a 4, almost a 4.4. Like it'd be like he'll probably run like a 4.33. I mean not 4.33. Like he'll probably run like a 4.37 or something like that at the combine. Xavier Worthy, Texas wide receiver. Yeah. Yeah, Rome. Yeah, Ozude. Yeah, like I said today, his name is very motherlandish. I don't know. He's like his name from the motherland. I don't know. Rome out of Washington. Rome O. That's what we're gonna call it. From now going forward, if anybody, I'm gonna say Rome O out of Washington. We all know it's the wide receiver out of Washington. That's how we're gonna talk about it from now on. We're gonna call him Rome O. That's what we're gonna call him, dude. We're gonna call him Rome O. That's what we're gonna call him, Rome O out of Washington. John Wilson could be got drop issues. Yeah, Kim Coleman. Oh, I forgot about. Appreciate you, bro. I forgot all about Ibuka. I really forgot all about Ibuka. I really did. Like I really forgot about Ibuka. Like that was the other receiver I was I forgot. I knew it was another receiver I was thinking about. I couldn't remember who it was. That's exactly who it was. I forgot all about Ibuka. That's who it was. I forgot all about Ibuka. Yeah, man. Like this draft got a lot of receivers. Like I'm not tripping. Again, like I say, we definitely want a top. We definitely would love to have a top 10, top 15 pick. I still believe at the end of the day, choosing your pick, your pick instead of the Cleveland Brown pick to move up for Willie Anderson, is a questionable decision. I'm not gonna say it's a mistake because it seems like when I say it's a mistake, people imply that we don't like Willie Anderson. I have no issue with the trade for Willie Anderson. I think it will. So I'm not gonna say a mistake. I'm gonna just say it was questionable to give up your selection instead of giving up Cleveland's selection when you don't have no control over Cleveland's selection. You have control over yours for in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, I mean you don't control who wins or loses, but you do have you do put into play who's out there, the product is on the field, and you're not doing everything you can to turn the roster. Like if you are signing, if you bringing in running backs, you bringing in DBs, you bringing in receivers, you bringing in offensive linemen, you bringing in defensive linemen, you bringing in linebackers, you bringing in kickers. Like you constantly, anytime somebody's going down or anytime somebody's available, you're turning over the okay. And we're trying to make sure or your name is being floated out there. That's another thing too. Our name is not even being floated out there, even being mentioned. Even from a rumor standpoint, like at least even if you're not gonna do nothing, at least your name floating out there as a rumor to making some of these moves to make it look like okay, we're trying to change this roster, we're trying to improve this roster at any given turn. If you're doing stuff like that, then okay, even if your pick is the better pick, even if your pick is your pick could be 20 picks better. Like say, your pick could be pick 10 and the Cleveland Brown pick is pick 30. Like I'm not as I say, I'll still be like, dang, I wish we had our pick instead. But I'm not gonna be too upset about it because again, you were trying to turn over your roster. You was trying to fix your roster. You was trying to go out there. You doing everything you could to win games. But when you just sit on your hands, you give up your pick and you just sit on your hands like, oh man, hey, it is what it is, man. Whatever happens, happens. I'm cool with you. I feel like you forfeit that. You forfeit that luxury when you decided willingly to give up your pick instead of giving up the Cardinals. I mean, giving up your pick instead of giving up the Browns pick to the Cardinals when you didn't have to. When you could have gave them the Browns pick, but you chose not to. You chose to give up your pick because you probably felt like whatever the situation is, Cleveland's gonna be worse. Deshaun, whatever it is, and that's fine. I don't care that you feel like that. But then in that same span, that same thought process, what you need to do is do whatever you can to make sure that you're putting out the best roster and the best product on the field, the best roster you possibly can to make sure that your pick is close enough. Your pick is as close as can be to that. So those two things going coincide. And that's my one issue with that whole selection. But in the grand scheme of things, no matter where you fall in that Cleveland Browns pick, I feel like you're going to be in a range, in a spot that you'll be able to draft draft a top receiver. I don't think the Cleveland Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think the Cleveland Browns are making it to the AFC Championship game. I don't think the Cleveland Browns. They might be able because they have a very good defense. They might be a playoff team, but they very well could not be a playoff team as well, because of the quarterback situation with and without Deshaun Watson. They actually play better without Deshaun Watson, and then as always not having Deshaun Watson. So a lot of multitude things go in, especially with the Cleveland Browns. So I feel like that pick, like I said, is going to be somewhere. No, I don't feel like that pick is going to be higher than like 23, 22, 23. I don't even feel like it's really going to be that high. I just think that's the maximum high it's going to get, honestly. I think that pick is really going to be in between the 20 and the 50. I think that pick is going to be anywhere between 20 and like the 12 range. Really is what the pick has always been. Because I think every Cleveland Brown pick we've had, this has been 12 or 13. I know last year was 12. I think the pick before that was 13. So that's really where the Cleveland Brown pick has been falling previously. And I feel like that's somewhere where it's going to fall at again. And I think that's still a good prime spot for you to be able to draft a receiver. Because I think it's still a good prime spot for you to be able to draft one of these receivers because this receiver draft class is loaded. Now, if you actually identify one person to be the guy, like if you identify that you have to have Keon Coleman, or you have to have Romo, or you have to have Malik Neighbors, or you have to have Abuka because, C.J. Stroud in Ohio State. You had to have Marvin Harrison, which I think is probably going to be the hardest hill to climb, is to get Marvin Harrison. I don't see Marvin falling outside the top 8. I think Marvin Harrison is probably going to be like the 7th pick in the draft, the 6th or 7th pick in the draft, maybe 5. I don't think he's going to be like, I know how people had him going 2 or 3. Even if Chicago had the first 2 picks in the draft, or 2 of the 3 picks in the draft, I don't think that they're drafting Marvin Harrison. I could be wrong. I don't think they're drafting Marvin Harrison. I feel like they'll trade one of those picks for it. Like especially if they had like the first pick and they draft Caleb Williams, and like say their next pick is like the 3rd pick. I feel like they'll draft or the 2nd pick rather. I feel like they'll trade their pick to try to move on so somebody can get Drake May. Honestly, that's what I think will end up happening. But we'll see. That's draft talking, and we ain't nowhere near the draft. We don't know what's going on. So. If not, Nick Caserio will be fired. I'm pretty sure you're talking about the draft selection. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely getting real greasy out there for Nick Caserio. Honestly, it's Nick Caserio. I've been saying this since last year. And shout out to everybody in the round table and everybody in South Sports. Shout out to everybody in the round table because they know this. I've been saying this since last year, especially if y'all part of the Discord. If you ain't part of the Discord, make sure y'all get honcho. Make sure y'all get part of the Discord. Great sports conversation every single day. We stay in there all the time, but they know this. And if y'all are part of this school, y'all already know this because I've said this several times. I've been saying it since last year. that when it comes to Nick Casario, not completely out on Nick Casario, but Nick Casario is very questionable, and then and this is why. Like I said, we constantly talk about his draft. We constantly talk about his draft. Oh, he had a good draft. He drafted these players here and all these players that we like. All right, cool. But drafting is a part of what general managers do, not the whole thing. And not only just that, it's a small part. If in the grand scheme of things, we talk about trades, we talk about contract signings, we talk about we're talking about just roster movement, free agents bringing in free agents. We're talking about compensation to give up on trades, things like that. Negotiations, when to give people new contract extensions, all type of things to go into trying to go after high price free agents or cheaper free agents, whatever. Hiring coaching staffs, giving the coach the ability to hire their own coaching staff. Not being in the press box trying to call plays, like a whole bunch of other just things that that Nick Casario is not really all that good at, and has made questionable decisions at questions. And then, to be honest, also deciding when to trade, like not trading Brandon Cooks at the trade deadline. I think that's really the one that really got me. I think that's really what like kind of like, oh my, okay, hey man, maybe this guy ain't the guy we should be, maybe hold on, wait, it's some concerns now. And then looking back at the drafts, like looking back at the drafts, we'll completely give him a pass for his first draft in 2021 and didn't have no first and second round picks. We'll give him a complete pass on that. But in 2022, drafting Stingley, number 3rd overall, drafting Kenyon Green, what was like 15 and 16. Drafting Jalen Petrie in the 2nd round, jumping up to draft Mechie, drafting Damian Pierce in the 4th round. I think after that was Christian Harris. Then it was Booker next. I think Booker was after Christian Harris. Then after that, I think it was QT, the tight end. And after that, like when you go back and look at that, okay, you drafted Stingley Jr. In between. Xavier Hudson was drafted the pick before you. Sauce Gardner was drafted the pick after you. Stingley can't stay healthy. Sauce Gardner, the same position, won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Was an All-Pro, led the league in pass deflections. Aiden Hutchinson, absolute beast of pass rush. I know, okay, we didn't have a chance to get him, but it is that you draft Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green, another guy can't stay healthy. Missed all this season. Missed time last year. Came into camp out of shape. And I forgot there was another offensive lineman that was taken after him. They look well. They look better. Petrie, nothing to say about Petrie. Petrie was a top safety last year. Missed some time earlier this year, but I think Jalen Petrie is still Jalen. Even though he missed a lot of tackles later, Jalen Petrie is definitely a safety that's a baller. Then you got jumping up to get Mechie, who can't get on the field from health situations. From I don't know if it's not understanding the playbook, not running his route, Chris, not right exactly where he wants to be, where he needs to be a good slot receiver. And George Pickens went after him. Damian Pierce, looking very sluggish. And you got K9 out there in Seattle, drafting Christian Harris, drafting Booker. You got Tariq Woolen out there in Seattle. After you can't get nothing done with Stingley because Stingley can't stay healthy. Like, so now his draft selections looking questionable as well. You got some people questioning Will Anderson selection. I don't, but you got some people questioning because he doesn't have 30 sacks already. So you got some people out here questioning that. Even though I'm watching what he's done on the field, he does a lot to impact the game. He's not giving you the sacks, but I do think his impact and presence on the field is allowing somebody like Jonathan Kennard to go out there and feast. See, that's what you was looking for when you had Clowney and JJ. JJ getting all the attention. You wanted Clowney to benefit off of that. and Clowney never showed you that benefit. We're seeing it right now with Jonathan Gennard, and Willie Anderson's not even JJ yet. Willie Anderson is not JJ yet. He's not JJ. We just have that. Willie Anderson's not even JJ, but the attention that JJ was getting, Clowney couldn't benefit off of it. The attention that Willie's getting, Jonathan Gennard is benefiting off of it. And he's not even getting the same type of attention that JJ got because, like I said, Willie Anderson is not JJ. Now, I do believe eventually that's going to shift a little bit and maybe not giving all the attention to Jonathan Gennard, but at least taking some of that attention and pressure off of Willie Anderson will get to Jonathan Gennard for Willie Anderson to be able to be freed up a little bit more, and we'll start probably seeing some more of his impact. But you got people questioning. At least for me, I question the compensation. I question you giving up your selection instead of the Brown selection. But then you got some people who question Juice because Juice ain't played yet. You got some people want to talk about that. You got people question why you didn't go out there and get a running back. Like, I like what I seen that Tyler Spitz the other day for the Titans. We need another running back. Deuce Vaughn. Could have got Deuce Vaun instead of Xavier Hudson. Xavier Hudson can't get on the field. So I would much rather have Deuce Vaughn. A-Chain, out of Texas A&M that's in Miami, was balling before he got hurt. That would have been an absolute plus if we would have had him. So there's other moves. Is like, and again, everybody ain't gonna go 10 for 10 in the draft. Everybody ain't gonna be batting 1,000 when it comes to any of these general manager moves. But a lot of things start. Even his one ace in the hole that he had, like, man, at least I got the draft. At least I got the draft that people like. People are starting to question that as well. So when it comes to Nick Caserio, we'll see evaluation. He's going to really definitely need CJ and D'Amico. Another thing, you hire two coaches and have to fire them back to back. And one coach you actually hired his whole coaching staff. I mean you hired his coach staff for him. And again, I think the whole reason why the whole Cully situation was to try to coerce and keep Deshaun Watson here. But I think it also kind of even alienated him and pushed him away even further. But that's a conversation for another day. But he's going to need possibly D'Amico and Willie and D'Amico and CJ to save his job. Honestly, like if the Texans flew around, come back and win the division or make the playoffs and possibly win a playoff game, I don't think Nick Caserio is going anywhere. I don't think Kyle will fire Nick Caserio. I don't think he'll fire Nick Caserio. If the Texans win one or two more games, even though it's technically an improvement, some things might be questioned. I agree. I don't think Nick is the guy. Spitz, how we feel about T. Higgins instead of draft the receiver? I don't think Miami. I don't think that Cincinnati's going to let go of T. Higgins, especially now that Cincinnati's starting to get on the roll and they're starting to see, they're starting to look like the Cincinnati Bengals again. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I think Joe Burrow, especially has enough cachet and talking points to be able to make sure they keep his guys around. So I don't see them moving on from T. Higgins. I think they'll find a way to make sure they keep T. Higgins there. I think T. Higgins can be a number one receiver, but I might like Keon Coleman more than T. Higgins, honestly. But again, I could be wrong, but I think Keon Coleman's a baller. Like I said, I would not be surprised and shocked if Keon Coleman would end up being the best receiver in this draft. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't. Tyree Thomas, Steven Nelson, and Jonathan will all get extensions. Steven Nelson should have been got one. We'll see about Jonathan Gennard. Same thing with Tyree Thomas. Steven Nelson should have got one before the season even started anyway. I don't understand. He was your best corner last year, and he looks even better this year. He was your best corner last year. He looks even better this year. So I don't. That price tag gonna go up now. It's definitely gonna go up now. I think Texas will attack the draft for receiver and keep producing Nico. I think Nico gonna be like I said. I think Nico will be like the second option. I think your draft receiver that's gonna be your number one receiver. And Nico's gonna be like your possession guy, the guy that you don't throw the football to, able to run people over. Like I say, Tank is gonna be your weapon. just a guy who you get the ball, you get the ball in his hands and let him do some special. If they can get Mechie working right, Mechie's the guy in the slot, and those are your four receivers. I think those are your four receivers. That's how you work them. Exactly how you work them. You probably have yeah, you come out there, you come out there like a four wide, have have Xavier, not Xavier, but what's his name? Keon Coleman on the outside, have Tank on the other outside, have Mechie and have which guy run inside, and you just do your damage. You cut your damage up that way. I think they'll be able to maybe make a lot of plays and put the football in the air. You'll definitely see a very more productive offense. But hey, appreciate all y'all coming through, especially the ones that came in with Super Chat Love. Definitely appreciate that. Y'all already know how it is. On Friday, not Friday, I'm sorry, it's Day Friday. Sunday, game, Houston Texans versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to be doing the pregame show on Saw Sports. You already know what it is. Make sure y'all look out for the live on Saw Sports pregame. And then after the game, immediately after the game, for complete game breakdown analysis, y'all know to come right here on the channel. Y'all can't see my head. Y'all make sure to come down here in the channel. Make sure y'all come to see your boy right here live on Spitz channel. You already know what it is. Post game, we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. Exactly how the offense look, how the defense look. We're going to see exactly what's going to happen, what's going down. So make sure y'all hit Saw Sports. Make sure y'all check out Saw Sports before the game. And then make sure y'all check out this channel, this live stream after the game. And definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate all the love, all the likes. Thank y'all for watching the video, liking. Make sure y'all share and subscribe. Let's be trying to get this thing up to 6,000 subscribers, y'all. We still trying to get to 6,000 subscribers. Hey, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, or tell a friend, tell another friend, so you can tell some more friends, and let's get this thing going. Definitely appreciate that, man. Hey, if any of y'all in the Discord, y'all already know what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like Hunter say, meet me there, don't beat me there. Well, beat me there, don't meet me there. I guess that's how it goes. I don't know. But if y'all in the Discord, make sure y'all hop in the Discord. You know how we do. So hey, like, share, subscribe, click the bell, get more videos. I holla.